Going live. Hey, what's up, guys? RP Forex. I'm back live again. It is August 27th, 2019, and a bit of a slow day in the markets. I think for the rest of the week, fundamentally wise, we only had consumer confidence today, and it came up unexpected, but it didn't really move much. Tuesday, I think Wednesday is also pretty quiet. Just some USD fundamentals at 10:30 a.m. and then at 9 we have NSD business confidence and Aussie. Um, right now we're in NSD CAD and Aussie CAD. You should be out of the trades. So NSD CAD almost hit TP1, which was 46 pips. We won as 42. Aussie CAD hit TP2. It's 53 pips, so 90 pips. We did get a few questions if we're on vacation. Just because the market gapped so significant, especially like some of the yen pairs which gapped 70 pips. Some of the charts and price action is a bit odd, so I think we're just taking a calculated approach before sending out signals. We rather send out 5 good trades than 12 terrible ones. We don't send out trades just for the sake of sending them out, but at least we bagged around 80 to 90 pips. As you can see right now, we are reversing from the support zone, so we should have closed out already. But if you haven't, you need to follow the protocol. 25 pips or first take profit. Take partials, move stops, entry. We're not at entry just yet, but if right now you still have a chance to grab another 20 or so pips. So close off the remaining of your position. And it's only Tuesday. The day has just started, so we have more than enough time to bag more pips. But 90 pips isn't bad for 8 hours. Moving on, we'll start with the majors. Euro, our intraday setup is a go now. Yesterday we did speak about closing below 1.11100, and we have done just that. And if you're interested in scalping or you like to take intraday setups, the entry is pretty much now. Let me try to show you these stops, and it's like a 30 pips take profit, so and probably a 15 pip stop. So you could take this. Obviously, you can tell it's not ideal in terms of risk reward. Usually our setups are 2.0. This is 1.145. It's still, it's still respectable, but I wouldn't be taking this. But if you're a scalper, you could even scalp half the move, not all the way down, because it might not do the full move. Pretty for Euro, I don't know. I still see it being short. We talked about the overall price structure yesterday. On the 4-hour, we're just making waves of minor recoveries before a huge wave of fallout. So this was our previous fallout. This is a consolidation mini retrace. We might be due to another visit to 1.10,000. Even though the US dollar is in shambles, the euro isn't doing too well either. So let's see that happen. The pound, yesterday our longs were activated. That was another 50 or so pips. Let's speak on that. And I was actually asleep or busy while the entry was there, but the entry was explained yesterday during yesterday's live session. Let's zoom in. We can see we bounced off the 1.22,000 handle, and we got the close above this key resistance, and our entry was here where we plotted the trade setup yesterday, and our first take profit was right around 1.22900, 1.2300, right where these previous highs were, and we kind of went past that about 40 pips, 40, 50 to actually this is close to 60 pips. You could have bagged here if you took the first take profit. That was still 40 pips. So hopefully my London session viewers, or if you're watching this later, took this trade. But we still have chances to go higher for pound. Actually, now is not a bad time to enter, just because we kind of made a retrace. I'd actually wait for the 4-hourly because this area could act as a resistance, and if we do close under, I'd be cautious. So just plot this just to have the visual. If I want to enter, long, I didn't get to enter this, but hopefully some of you did. If you want to enter long, just look for a break above these levels and a close. Not just a wick, but a close above 122.835 would be nice. And we have a nice visit to 123.750 like previously discussed. But potential 140 pips that could have been caught. So some of our providers may be pretty cautious about the trading week, but definitely you can get some moves if you play your cards right. That's what I see for pound. We do have overall in the daily a lot of ground to gain for it to be called a full reversal. If you look, we've had previous instances like right here and right here, or even pulling back to here where it looked like the pound was going to reverse. If you look at the overall price structure, it's been bearish for quite some time, and so until we clear these previous lower highs, I don't see pound fully reversing for the remaining quarters of the year. But in the near term, we can catch the movements that it's giving, the pips that it's giving, and the daily can tell the tale. We can see a classic, break of a key level, a retest with the red bearish candle, and this green candle. Hopefully, it closes a bit, more bullish than it is right now, and that'll be a rejection candle to go higher. 1.23700 is our target. Let's look for a break of 1.22850 to go long again if you haven't already. USD yen, similar story. So yesterday we had the short play out. Hopefully some of you caught it. So right again, I talked about this line right here, which is actually a trend line. I'll look for signs of rejection. We did get that, and we got about 36 pips of our short. And that's where the whole taking partials and link stops entry, because you still could have caught some profit here, and right now you would have been bounced at entry, which is fine. You could always re-enter. So if I were to re-enter short, I look for a break below 106.600, and then we can visit 104.700. Our key level for USD yen. But it's looking like a short. I wouldn't be buying USD yen. Maybe we might have a sharp pullback to this trend line again, or maybe to these highs. But our next entry for short is below this level right here. This session's gonna be pretty quick. It's just a lot of waiting on your hands, and a lot of the setups we've already taken. Aussie, so Aussie's kind of lining up for a short again. It'd be pretty much the same thing we did previously if we do get a close below 0.67500, which is a key support for Aussie for the past 4 months. So if we can get a nice break again, we can probably go back to our previous take profit here, right at these lows down here. Wouldn't be too excited to trade Aussie, because we do have fundamentals later in the week, which could definitely change the outlook technically. So I'd stay out of it. The CAD, it's looking like it's gaining strength. So if we look at USD CAD, yesterday we had the short off this resistance. We didn't catch this because this is Friday, but we finally came back to this support zone, and since then price has rocketed back up into this trading range, and we may as well go back to test resistance again. That's the thing about ranges, especially USD CAD. It likes to follow ranges, so that's why I just got us out of the NSD CAD, Aussie CAD, because if the USD CAD gains some strength, so will Aussie, and we want to take care of profits. Let's look at gold, and then I'll look at a few miners before I send this session off. So yesterday gold was setting up for a short. We didn't get that break, that key break of this level right here to enter 115.24. If you look at the video description of our video yesterday, I did make note of 15.24. We needed to close below because it was an hourly support, and we did not. Even though this recent price action off this trend line looked like we were gonna go lower. You need to look at what the price is doing at these zones, and it was respecting it until it popped off, and right now it's within the resistance region, and it's about to leak out. So we may be going higher for gold, which is online with our possible pound longs. So we could have possible gold longs, but then again, many small accounts that are with us, so I don't want anyone to get in too much trouble if the trade goes south. We'll just take advantage of pound dollar, but go back to the video and take note. You need closes below key levels where the trade's invalidated, and we did not get it. and this is why I don't like using sell stops, because if you had a sell stop just below here, this wick would have caught you and put you in these short, and you would have been blown out in the next few hours. So always look for price action to manually play out, get that close below the level, maybe a retest. The move is aggressive enough, you can skip on the retest, but we didn't get that. So the bias for gold is to push to these previous highs, 1550. Nice psychological level. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't get there by tomorrow's session. So if you're into trading gold, look to the long up to here. Maybe stops right below these previous lows right here, and you can have that for intraday. Looking at some miners, CAD CHF was one in particular I wanted to look at, especially since the CAD. So I was looking at long CAD CHF because we were in NSD CAD and Aussie CAD shorts, so the CAD was strong. But what happened was, and this is a similar story for the past few days now, this previous trend line which we drew on the weekly time frame, let's zoom back on the weekly time frame, actually the daily, we drew this nice trend line right here with our first, second, and third touches. If we zoom in, I was waiting for CAD CHF to close within this trend line to go long, but we haven't got that. Each time we've made a push, we've rejected, and on these smaller time frames, you can see it's just touching, rejecting, touching, rejecting, touching, rejecting. There's a lot of trade setups. We might actually short CAD CHF right now. It's actually not a bad setup. If I move this over, and I actually might do a live call right now. Yeah, it's not a bad trade. So if you're in the live session right now, can you enter CAD CHF shorts? Let me remove this, and the stops and entries and take profits are what you see. So stops right here, and the first take profit will be right at 0.73600 or 0.73569, and our next take profit will be 0.73354. Stops right above here. Not a bad setup. You guys will probably get the earliest entry, and yeah, so that's CAD CHF. We have another trade to enter, and we have no fundamentals that will come in the way of this trade for the remainder of the day. So that's good. That's today's session. Pretty short. We're in profits. Last week we didn't have any losing trades, and this week we started off with 2 winners. So let's keep this up. We're gonna follow the same rule set, no matter what the market conditions are. That way it's consistent, and we have CAD CHF longs. Hopefully this could bring us some profits, and maybe later we can get an entry on pound USD. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, and Wednesday we'll probably get a lot of movement from today's Asia session going into London, so we can get some extra pips. So I'm RP Forex. I'm logging off. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading. Peace.